Turn up, let's go.
Guys, I have a surprise. The Jack Skellington hat is back. It's back, ladies and gentlemen, because Halloween is this month, and I figured it's about time that I dress up. So this is my Halloween costume. I've worn it for the last, I think, was it last year or the year before? I don't freaking know. I've had it for a little while now, but anyway, today we're gonna be reacting to 5 Nightmarish Asian urban legends by Top 5. So make sure you guys go subscribe to Top 5s if you haven't already. Anyway, with that being said, the original link's in the description. I got my spooky hat on. Without any further ado, let's begin.
Urban legends have no inception. They have no starting date, no origin point, and
I'm pretty sure they do, right? I mean, they're based off of something.
no clear-cut reason why. They simply have existed as long as the human race has formed narrative through imagination. They are a big part of not only our popular culture, but of the cultures and mythology found all across the world. Asia specifically.
Most stories and whatnot are based off of some kind of truth, right? Like, you know, Mothman, although to us that's ridiculous, back when that story came around, people were actually seeing Mothman, or what they thought was Mothman. Who knows what it actually was, but to them it was an actual Mothman, right? So to these people, the things they've seen might sound crazy to us, but to them it's like, oh no, I freaking saw that.
Specifically, withholds many interesting stories.
Looks beautiful.
From generations to generations.
Oh, here we go.
Saki Onna.
Oh my
In the late
goodness.
1970s, Japanese ghost stories have been dominated with the legend of Kuchisaki Onna, translated as the cleft-mouthed woman, or slit-mouthed woman in English. As legend has it, a young woman married to a highly respected samurai warrior would go around her village asking local folks, "Am I pretty?" They would always
Oh, I think I've heard this one before, actually.
respond with positive affirmation, boosting her confidence and self-esteem to great heights.
Yeah, I have heard of this one.
One day, her confidence got the best of her when she figured she could get away with an intimate affair with another noble soldier. The woman's husband soon found out,
Oh my goodness. I'm gonna have to censor that. That is so disturbing. What the...
and as punishment, he took away her beauty by cutting a permanent grin into her face, slitting the mouth from ear to ear. The woman, scared with shame, committed suicide thereafter. Her
Oh my
ghost
goodness.
proceeded to haunt Japanese communities for years to come.
This is legit disturbing. I'm probably gonna have to censor this because of how graphic it is. What the frick? Like, the lady's mouth was legit. You could see like a slit going up like that. It was all open. Oh, it's too early in the morning for this.
The true horror spawned when the spirit of the slit-mouthed woman was reportedly ravaging unsuspecting victims. According to a few testimonies, a woman with a surgical mask was seen approaching people, asking, "Am I beautiful?" If the person responded with no, Kuchisaki Onna would kill them with a pair of scissors or other sharp object.
What other sharp object would she be carrying, like a sword or something? If so, why not just use that instead of the scissors?
If the person responded with yes, the slit-mouthed woman would remove her mask, displaying her grotesque smile, and ask, "What about now?" Again, answering no will get one killed, and answering yes will win you a lacerated smile across your face.
Congratulations, you won!
Just like hers. Some reports found that answering with vague responses, such as so-so, or asking about your own beauty, will distract the spirit, allowing time for escape. Some folks who tell the tale suggest using fruits and candles to toss at the woman for
Oh, that's funny. That's funny. Some of the tales will recommend you throw stuff at her. Yeah, just freaking throw fruits and vegetables. You know how we did back in the day, where, you know, you'd go to the town center and you'd throw tomatoes and lettuce at the person locked up.
further distraction. Despite having the status of urban legend, the story of Kuchisaki Onna does hold some weight. In 1979, the rumours and sightings of the spirit came out of Nagasaki Prefecture.
You see, this is what I'm talking about. Normally, a lot of these myths and urban legends are based off of something true, right?
The capital of Nagasaki, and one of the most damaged areas in the United States' 1945 atomic bomb droppings. In October of 2007, a coroner found preserved records from the late 70s detailing a woman who was known for chasing children around town.
You what?
Before being hit by a car and dying from her wounds.
That's
It just
creepy.
so happens that her mouth was ripped from ear to ear as well. Was she the real slit-mouthed woman? Regardless,
Yeah, that's what it sounds like. That's crazy. She was chasing little kids around.
her folklore still keeps anxious minds up at night in Japan. The Monkey Man.
Oh my goodness, this is the oldest, most, like, oh, this thing's been debunked, like, a bunch of times. Come on now. Come on now. Also, isn't this Bigfoot? What do you mean the Monkey Man? Is Bigfoot not politically correct or something?
Almost every country and community across the globe have taken credit for a Bigfoot-type creature
That's true, and I don't know why.
or urban legend. But East Delhi in India has its own mass myth of a beast, much smaller than a Sasquatch, although just as frightening.
Smaller.
Kalabanda. Kalabanda,
Cowabunga?
translated to English as the Monkey Man, is said to be about 4 feet tall, covered in a thick coat of black fur.
It's just a monkey. It's just a monkey. What do you mean the Monkey Man? It's just a freaking monkey.
Sometimes wearing a metal helmet with metal
It's a monkey from Planet of the Apes. Big deal.
claw attachments. Creepiest of all, the creature is said to have glowing red eyes that pierce even the darkest of nights, foretelling doom to those who walk in its path. A few eyewitness reports claim that the Monkey Man is actually of greater height, measuring at 8 feet tall,
8 feet tall. That's like the same height as Sasquatch or whatever, right?
with a vulpine snout, bulging muscles, and the ability to leap across building tops. While these cases are much more scattered and inconsistent with the main sightings, it leaves one to theorize if maybe the Kalabanda has the ability to be both, either a smaller, spooky stalker creature or an agile, athletic beast.
This is a weird myth. This is a very weird myth. And it is weird how, like, every culture has its own Bigfoot or Sasquatch or whatever, right? And I don't know why, but I know a lot of them do. And it's weird.
After the major outpouring of testimonies flooded throughout East Delhi in May of 2001, law enforcement came together to figure out the true case of such sightings. Several academic and psychological experts theorized that the sightings were nothing more than fabricated stories born out of mass hysteria. This led to unparalleled fear and anxiety.
See, it could be that. It could be mass hysteria. Or it could be, like, a legit wild animal. Like a wild monkey or something like that going around. And if you see something like that in the distance at night, you're gonna think it's, you know, the Monkey Man or whatever.
Amongst residents that spawned deadly circumstances, such as people jumping from rooftops and falling down stairwells during
What?
panic attacks.
Oh my.
These people claim it was due to seeing the eyes or figure of the Monkey Man chasing after them, but no physical evidence was ever recovered.
Sound like they are just seeing things if you ask me.
However, at one point,
That's
flabbergasted Indian police turned to local artists to sketch possible profiles of the Kalabanda, to at least explain such a mysterious
This is the sketch that was drawn. Oh, we're gonna get him now, boys. We're gonna get him now.
physical appearance of a terrifying creature. The sweet
I don't know how I feel about that one. I don't know how I feel about that one. That one's funny and silly. But at the same time, I mean, you know, as most myths and whatnot are based around some kind of truth, I assume there was like a wild animal, like a wild monkey or something going around, people just seeing it, and that's how it kind of started. That's what I think it's most likely, but you never know. Man, this hat, it's like crushing my head. It feels really tight.
Maiden of Ancol Bridge. The Ancol Bridge in North Jakarta, Indonesia, is a wooden bridge found in a theme park. During the late 1950s, historical and cultural researcher Ridwan Saudi discovered a once sustained bridge to be the location of a horrific murder cover-up, and fodder for one of Southeast Asia's creepiest urban legends.
Wait, this bridge or a different bridge?
The story dates back to 1817, during the Dutch occupation of Indonesia.
I don't
It
know.
follows a young girl named either Arya or Miriam, depending on the version of the myth, who lived in a pavilion rented to her by her family by a rich Chinese man. When she turned 16, she was approached by the Chinese landlord, who offered to take her in as his concubine.
Wait, what? So your landlord comes up to you and is like, oh, do you want to be my prostitute What? What kind of job proposition is that? Okay.
Completely unflattered by the request, and knowing her place at the home was no longer beneficial, Arya quickly turned down the offer and ran away.
Oh.
In the days after abandoning all that she knew, she drifted through unknown villages and mysterious lands. During her journey, another Chinese folksman, named Putin, stopped her to admire her beauty and make intimate advances. Again she refused the man's remarks and left him rejected.
Okay, so I get it's part of the story, but how do people know that that's what happened to her, right? I can understand the first part where the landlord might ask something like that because she might tell someone, but then when she's no longer there, she's just like a vagrant person just going around. How are you supposed to know what happened to them, right?
Angered and ashamed, Putin sent his band of thugs after her to capture her and bring her back to his estate. In the thugs' kidnapping attempt at the Dempet Dam near Lake Sunter, she put up quite a fight herself, lighting the fuse of her combatants, who eventually killed her in the heat of the battle. Worried they would be caught and imprisoned, the thugs took her body and dumped her in a paddy field in the Anshul area, a place known for its brackish waters, mangrove forests, and swamps that necessitate bridges, hence the Anshul Bridge.
See, that sounds believable, because this kind of crap happens, right? Where someone, you know, another person on accident and they don't want to get caught, so they go throw the body in a lake or something. Like, this kind of crap happens, so it's quite possible to believe that this happened.
The tragedy of the girl then sparked the decades-long legend of a ghost or spirit that haunts the modern Anshul Bridge. Eyewitness testimonies claim that the apparition of a beautiful maiden girl appears on the bridge to frighten unsuspecting drivers.
What do you mean drivers? Look at this bridge. You can't drive on this. Do you mean unsuspecting guests, or do you actually mean drivers? Are people driving on this freaking thing? That does not sound safe.
Her spirit is said to be the cause of multiple car crashes near Anshul, specifically targeting young male drivers and those with a sinful background. Many media reports and fake photographs have caused the urban legend to be nothing more than a hoax or a creepy bedtime story for Indonesian children. But the horrifying history of Southeast Asia's occupation and likelihood of such a tragedy happening definitely makes you wonder if the sweet maiden truly is returning to enact her revenge.
That's what I'm saying. It's easy to believe that something like that's possible. Because, you know, that kind of crap happens all the friggin' time. Definitely back then. But even to this day, you know, people get game ended, then, like, thrown in lakes and stuff. And if that stuff happens now, I mean, it could happen back then, and even back then when it was less lawful as it is now, it would probably happen even more. So I don't doubt that for a second.
Legend of the Brosno Dragon.
Isn't this a Loch Ness Monster? This is like the classic photo of the Loch Ness Monster. Why are you using it for this other thing?
Almost everyone has heard of the tales and terror of the Loch Ness Monster.
Yeah.
But most are unaware of the mythological creature supposedly resting underneath the chilly waters of Lake Bosno, located in the Andropol district of the Tver region in Russia. The monster, known to Russian locals,
Oh, that's cool.
lurks beneath the lake, but is known to rise to the surface, displaying a long, thin tail and a remarkable head in the shape of a dragon.
That's actually awesome. That's an awesome drawing. That's a good background for your computer.
Which is why it's widely considered to be the Brosno dragon. The legend dates back to the 13th century, during the early years of the Mongolian Empire, when a fierce Tatar-Mongol army set up camp near the lake whilst on a journey to Novgorod. The faction's leader encouraged his soldiers to take their horses down to the lake's shore to rehydrate. However, when the horses approached the water, a cacophonous screech echoed from the lake, and an enormous
A cough and a screech?
beast emerged from within, devouring the unlucky horses and some of the soldiers who attempted to fight off such a creature. The incident scared off the leader and his army and the warriors,
Chicken! Chicken!
thus actually saving the city of Novgorod from Mongolian capture. In the centuries since, legend always tells of unsuspecting fishermen disappearing off the waters of Lake Brosno, assumedly to the dragon.
I love stories like this because it's freaking creepy. There's, you know, monsters in the water. And who knows, maybe it was true. Maybe it was true because, you know, if you think of it, alligators and crocodiles, they're dragons, basically, right? They're basically exactly like dragons. So if that thing can survive, something like an actual friggin' dragon, or something like a dinosaur, something a lot more fierce, has a higher chance of surviving than a freaking crocodile, right? So I mean, friggin' this could be possible, easily possible, but there's no way it's alive today.
Chronicles about the lake also speak of mirages and hallucinations of a sand mountain that appears as an island in the middle of the water. Nearby villagers, thinking the island to be real, bring their treasure out in the middle of the lake to hide their secrets, only to
Wait, what? You bring your treasure out to an island in the middle of a lake? How often does this happen? Because if everyone's going to this island to bury their treasure, it's not like it's a good place to bury your treasure when everyone else is freaking going there to bury it. You go there and you're like, oh wait, someone already freaking buried their treasure here.
to find themselves stranded at the mouth of the Brosno dragon, swallowing them and their possessions whole. In modern times, the dragon is said to skim the surface of the water during the evening hours, blending in with the twilight skies and camouflaging from human onlookers. One urban legend proclaims the dragon took down a German spy plane during World War II,
What?
and others frequently
How did it take down a spy plane? Spy planes are in the air, not in the freaking water or on land.
blame the beast for local missing person cases and upturned fish boats. Sadly, no physical or concrete evidence has ever been uprooted in support of the dragon's existence. Many theorize that the dragon head, seen underneath the water, is actually a school of smelt shoals, a school of fish that swim in formation that
That's possible too.
could be mistaken as a reptile's head. Another popular explanation is unexplored submarine volcanoes ejecting miniature explosions to the surface,
I honestly don't think a volcano would make me think that there is a dragon about to eat me.
creating the effect of a massive object rising out of the lake. Because the multiple levels of Lake Brosno's bottom have yet to be explored, limnic eruptions and gas
How deep is this lake? Because from the sound of it, it sounds like it's only like, you know, it doesn't sound like it's that deep. But then again, I guess if it were to have a dragon or something inside of it, it would have to be pretty deep.
fissures cannot be ruled out.
Anyway, I hope you guys like this video. I think this is pretty awesome. And that last one there with that, was it the dragon in Lake Brosno or whatever? I think that's awesome, and I think that's cool. And if it's possible, I don't know, maybe a few hundred years ago when that's like because back in the medieval times, people were there are so many records of people actually fighting, you know, like dragons and crap like that. And if you think of it, if crocodiles and Komodo dragons actually exist in today's world, hundreds of years ago, when, you know, humans, because, you know, we kill off species all the time. We've done this to so many different creatures. So hundreds of years ago, you know, who knows what kind of animals and whatnot actually existed before we ended up wiping them out. Anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comments. If you like this, make sure you give it a thumbs up. I hope you guys like the spooky hat. If you are familiar, this hat actually had these weird, like, long thingies, but I cut them off today because I'm like, I can't stand them. It makes it look even worse. But anyway, if you guys like this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up, possibly share with a friend. If you're new, subscribe to the family. Also, make sure you guys go subscribe to Top 5s, and I'll see you guys next time. Boop!